things I need of you. Things you may not understand and may not wish to do, but please do not make the same mistakes I did. My father, Howard, deserted me before I was born. I could claim the loss of my mother, and the letter I received after her funeral blinded me to what I had to do. It would be a lie. Human nature sealed my downfall. My name is Philip. If we are lucky, then by the time you receive this, I will be dead. If fate frowns, we all perish. Magic red text. Hello and welcome to Let's Play Penumbra Overture. I am your host, Gandalf5326/TFAF/ what have you. And we are obviously going to be playing some scary fucking games tonight. This will be a blind LP. I have already played through Amnesia, and I heard that I should play this game. So, yeah. I already started it up before, so I could go ahead and play around with the graphics and making sure I wouldn't have such a terrible frame rate when it would be on a portable. Getting around 37 FPS. Resolution is pretty high. I would have these two things set up, but with both of these set all the way up, I was only getting like 20 FPS, so I decided, fuck it. Wasn't gonna do that. And I'll do hard mode just for the LULs. And I think I just fucked up my speakers. My story began in February, year 2000. Good for you.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made.
Come on, less speaker.
Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it. So when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline.
Sad face.
His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of.
Yay!
In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor.
Cool.
Of course, I went, as he knew I would.
Dun dun dun.
I discovered that, despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time.
Cool. Must
My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me.
It burns.
The university I taught at was world-renowned for two things: physics and linguistics.
Cool.
I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland.
Just drop that on my laptop.
It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever taken. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day. And I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind.
My porn collection.
We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Balls. I really hate these speakers. Come on, let's get some audio. There we go. My left speaker really doesn't like me. I apologize. Finally, we're almost done. I'd better stow my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse, and I can take a closer look at things using right mouse. Can you imagine how strange it would be if somebody came up to you and started doing that in real life? Like, use left mouse to pick up this object. I should do that to some things. I'm certain this map's a good decade or so out of date. Landmarks don't match much in Greenland. Oh, I don't care. Drinking too much? Sir, have you been drinking tonight? No, I don't care. Dearest Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I've left you a little something to remember me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board, making... Oh, fisherman wife's lover. Why did he leave that in the chest? Look out the side. That's it. I really like to break things. It is locked. You seem friendly enough, but just in case, I locked up my valuables. I'm pretty sure the key's in my inventory somewhere. Once I've found it, double-clicking the left mouse button should get it selected. Then I can press interact on the padlock to... Tab as always. That is wonderful. Magic. Yay! Batteries. Yay! Candles. Chicken noodle. Possibilities. Always good to have a notebook, and to jot down interesting information and reminders. Hey, I think I left my torch in the desk drawer next to the bed. It can be opened using my blah 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 blah. I'm fucking boring, okay? Yeah, fuck yeah. Playboy poster. It's nice some things don't change no matter what. I wanna see. A photo of the fisherman's wife. She's no Playboy bunny, but she looks loving and kind. You've been fapping on the way here, Philip, because, really, I'm going to Greenland. It's fucking cold up there, I think. I'm just an American, okay? I have an American education. You can't just judge me on that. As I stepped off the boat, sitting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities, leanness. Soon after, a new hypothermia was setting in. I started looking for shelter. Oh, that should be everything I need. I want to get going for